It's 14 minutes past 8 and you're joining the Morning Fix on Radio 44. Today is World Lupus Day. And we've been joined by Vertika, who's been living with lupus, and she's going to enlighten us on her journey. But just to give you a little bit of a background on what lupus is, it's defined as a disease that occurs when your body's own immune system attacks your tissues and your organs. I don't know if that sounds right, Vertika.
It's exactly correct.
Oh, awesome. I got that one.
So, Vertika, first of all, welcome to the Morning Fix.
Thank you guys for having me.
It's pleasure. It's our pleasure. How long have you had lupus, and when were you diagnosed? Like, what year were you diagnosed?
So, I was diagnosed in 2016, but my symptoms actually started when I was 2010. So, that's the biggest issue with lupus. It's not very easy to diagnose. I was 25 years old at that time. A lot of doctors said I was depressed or that I was on drugs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in my instance, the immune system is attacking my kidneys. So my kidney damage had started in 2010. By the time they figured out something was wrong, it was in 2016, and fortunately it was too late.
That's quite a long gap between 2010 and 2016. What were the symptoms that made you go to the doctor?
So I had terrible headaches, worse than migraines. You can't function, you can't move. The standard symptom of lupus is that you have this butterfly rash on your skin, which I didn't.
Okay.
So at that time in 2010, I was diagnosed with occipital neuralgia. It's when a nerve in your brain gets pressed. So again, there's no cure for it, there's no treatment for it. You just give it steroid injections week in and week out for you to manage the pain. Yeah, so that's how my journey started.
Well, I can't believe that they diagnosed you with depression and drug use.
Because I was at that age. I was 25 years old. I had a new job at that time. Nobody takes time to figure it out.
You must have felt like they kind of left you in the dark, because you knew you were fine.
Yes.
And then...
Yeah. Because physically you look okay. So people think you're unfit or you're lazy or just making excuses, not to do anything. But the reality is you're in pain. Internally, you're in a lot of pain.
So for them to diagnose that you had lupus, it took them 6 years?
It took 2 miscarriages. The second miscarriage is when the doctor's like, there's something wrong. You need to go for tests. And it took 6 months for them to figure out what kind of lupus I had. So first of all, there are like 1,000 autoimmune diseases. So lupus is one of them. And there's 6 types of lupuses. I have a mixture of all 6 of them. So what I have is called a mixed connective tissue disorder. And the fact that it's attacking my kidneys is called lupus nephritis. So whenever I end up in a hospital and I'm meeting a new doctor, that's how I have to tell them. I have mixed connective tissue disorder with lupus nephritis.
Well, you know what? It's so tragic that you didn't get heard for about 6 years. So I'm so happy that you're talking about it, and World Lupus Day is the exact time to spread awareness about this. If you have any questions, any comments, if you've also been diagnosed with lupus, we want to hear from you. 0758 123 444 is the number you can catch us on. We're also on social media at Radio 44 Kenya. Up next, it's Sonu Nigam, Alka Yagnik. It is Aja Sony playing for you on The Morning Fix. 29 minutes to 9 a.m. You're with us on The Morning Fix on Radio 44. Today is World Lupus Day. And to bring awareness to lupus, we've been joined by Vertika, who's been telling us all about her journey. So we've discussed how you were diagnosed. How was it like when you found out you have this autoimmune disease that people don't really know about? It's very serious. How were your emotions like at that time?
So obviously you do the first thing, you go to Dr. Google. And what you read is not so great. So that's another reason why I'm spreading this awareness, because doctors also need to be sensitized about how you break the news to patients, because you're just another number to them. Because honestly, it feels like a death sentence. Once you're diagnosed with lupus, apart from the disease itself, the medications also come with a lot of side effects. So you have to learn to deal with that, and honestly, that's what brings up most of the problems along the way.
So your doctor, did they break it to you in a way that was insensitive, or how did it go down?
Yes. So my first visit with him, he didn't really explain to me what lupus was, and he lifted a finger and said, you won't be able to move this when you're 40 years old. Needless to say, I moved on from that guy.
That's horrible.
That is bad. I thought doctors would actually be much more
sympathetic.
Yes, because they're coming and breaking a news to you that you have no idea about. And then he's going, thank God you moved.
I ended up going to India, same thing. And there was a lot more excitement because There are not many lupus patients in India, so you're treated like a case study.
I see.
Same thing there. So you come back very depressed. You think it's the end of your life.
Yeah.
Right now, I have a really great rheumatologist and nephrologist who actually help you along the way. And the other thing with lupus is you also learn to become your own doctor. You can't rely on your doctor to always figure out what's wrong with you. You have to share the information with them, and you actually work it out together and figure out a way to manage your disease.
True, but is there any stigmatization behind lupus? And when you found out, like, was there some...
There's no stigma as
chitter-chatter?
such. Obviously, you're scared of death because, again, like I said, Dr. Google, that's what you read. The stigma that comes after that is maybe you seem like a flake to your family and friends because you're always so tired all the time and you're in so much of pain, so your socialization reduces. Not that you wanted to, but it just happens. So then sometimes people just label you as a flake.
Or lazy, you used that word
Yeah.
earlier on as well, because you're exhausted. Your body is fighting a battle that people don't recognize. So that's absolutely insane. But could you talk to us a little bit about the treatment cost? I know you had mentioned that insurance doesn't cover lupus
That's
because
right.
it can be very costly. So can you just briefly tell us about the costs?
So again, it depends how you're managing your disease. Like in my instance, when I was diagnosed with it, my monthly bills are 60,000 shillings. So it ranges between 30 to 60,000. You take a minimum of 10 to maximum of 22 tablets a day.
A day?
Yes.
22 a day?
A day.
So that really racks up the bill, and it's not fair that insurance is kind of leaving you out
Yeah.
of any coverage.
And that's across the world. It's not only here. Yeah, no insurance company covers lupus across the world.
Well, if you are struggling with lupus and you're listening to this, we want to hear from you. It is World Lupus Day. It's time to have this conversation. 0758 123 444 is where you can get in touch. This is The Morning Fix on Radio 44.
Still in conversation with Vertika on the World Lupus Day. In fact, I got a message from Mehul who says that Vertika, you are a fighter. We keep complaining about small things. He's stuck in traffic, and that's the thing he's complaining about. That look, there's traffic on the roads and stuff like that. But what's going on with you is way bigger than just mere traffic. What you go through inside is only you that knows about it. I know your friends and family are there to support, but what happens within you stays within you, and you're trying not to show it out. You always have a smiling face. That's what he says. Your strength is your husband. Again, he says that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Nikhil's apparently your strength. You can't have children, and he says both of you love children so much, and yet you're there. You're making jokes. You're enjoying life, no matter what is happening.
Yeah.
So big ups to you.
That's
Thank you.
such a sweet
Yeah.
message.
Yeah,
Well, that's an
very,
awesome
very
feedback.
Thanks a lot, Mehul.
But Vertika, getting back to the questions, as a lupus patient, are there some activities, I know we spoke about it off air, are there some activities that you can no longer do because of
Yes,
this?
you can't go in the sun anymore because across the board the sun leads to a lot of flare-ups. So flare-ups is you'll get rashes, it will bring in a lot of exhaustion. In my instance, as of last year, the lupus started affecting my skin too, or more like attacking my skin. So I can't go in the sun at all because I now have a high probability of getting skin cancer. Obviously, physical activities are at an all-time low. I'm a very active person, so for me, this was like the worst punishment ever. I still have a hyper brain, but my body can't keep up with it. But yeah, physically, you stop a lot of things.
Well, is there any treatment that's available to cure lupus or deal with how bad it is?
So there is no treatment for lupus. You just learn to manage it. That's why you're given medications to manage it. You cannot stop your immune system from attacking your body organs. You can try and slow it down. That's what the doctors try and do.
And it's a bit of a trial and error, isn't it? Because there's no one treatment. So you're trying a malaria medicine. Some people are recommended chemo.
Yes.
So how do you deal with the mental strain of it, knowing that there's not a cure?
It's not easy. You have some really bad days. As a lupus patient, I think you face death every 2 years, and you have to learn to fight back and to start all over again. So, yes, you just learn to cope with it. That's human nature.
I think your attitude is very strong.
Too strong.
It's really, really inspiring.
Yep.
And, if you have any more comments like Mehul sent into us, or you have any questions, you can contact us on 0758 123 444. This is The Morning Fix on Radio 44. right now because we've got an absolute rock star in studio. It's Vertika who's joining us on World Lupus Day to spread awareness around lupus and also tell us about her journey with the autoimmune disease.
That is true. Thank you so much once again, Vertika, for joining us in the studio. Now, what would you like to change around how lupus and that stigma is dealt with?
I would actually appeal to doctors to be more sensitive when they're breaking the news to patients. That's my biggest thing right now. And the second thing would be maybe if anyone from the government is listening, if they can bring in some subsidies or some sort of tax cuts on the medication because it's really expensive. I currently actually buy my medication from India. It is sometimes cheaper for me to actually fly out and buy 6 months dose than to buy it from here.
Wow.
It's triple the cost in Kenya.
Whoa.
Yeah. So a couple of doctors had said that, you know, a lot of cancer and HIV patients actually made a lot of noise about this, and that's what helped them bring the subsidies to their medication. So I'm hoping this will. I'm starting that
we're making
movement.
some noise.
Yes.
We can't have people suffering in the country and it's cheaper to go to India.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane. Is there anything else, or is that the main cause you're working
That's
for
the
right
main
now?
thing I'm working on right now.
Okay.
To create awareness. Again, like I said, for the doctors, because it does feel like a death sentence. Yes, your life does change. The medication more than the disease, like I said, do affect your body. It's a long-term thing. They'll tell you in the first appointment that this is going to happen. It does happen. It takes time. So maybe just ease people in so you're ready for it.
And what about the people who are listening to this and are saying, you know, I have lupus as well. What is your message to them as they fight the condition?
Spread awareness about this. I went into depression in 2018, and that's what my rheumatologist told me, that you're just keeping it in, you don't talk about it, and that's why it's affecting you. Let people know what this disease does to you. Just because you look normal does not mean you're normal.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I think another thing is family support.
Yes.
And because of that, we have to call your husband. Let's see what he has to say about this. Hi, Nikhil.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. We have your superhero wife with
My
us.
darling wife, yes.
Well, you know what? She said that you've supported her. We've even got messages
Yes.
to the studio.
In fact, someone's saying, you know what? The strength that Vertika has is in the husband. It's in you, Nikhil.
I actually think it's the other way around. With everything that she's going through, she is still my strength and my pillar of everything that we've done together. So I don't think I've done anything for her. She's still the macho man of the family.
There we go. Do you have a message for Nikhil, Vertika?
So yes, the message I have for Vertika is that with all that she's going through, I swear to make her life even more miserable by making a lot of fun of her, cracking jokes, and trying my best to keep her happy.
Well, you know what? This is what you call a true marriage.
Yes.
This is amazing, and you guys are absolutely awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Vertika, do you want to tell him something? I think he can hear you.
Yeah, the lupus won't kill me, he will. Jokes.
That's awesome.
Edit that out.
Thanks for speaking with us, Nikhil.
Cheers, guys.
Have
Thank
a
you.
good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Oh,
Bye.
What a pair.
What a pair, indeed.
What a pair. That has
Indeed.
made my morning. Especially he'll kill me, the lupus.
The lupus wins.
Well, Vertika, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Your energy is so infectious.
Yes.
You've taken this really hard-hitting topic, introduced it to a new audience, and at the same time made us laugh.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, and we're so glad we could have you this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Up next is the third hour of the Morning Fix, so keep it here to 91.6 FM.